Hey guys, it's Suna, and I'm back with another amazing deck for Runeterra. So this is called the Ezreal Karma deck. So this is taken from Swim's website. So I'm going to leave a copy of the deck ID in the description box so you guys can check this out, import it, give it a go, swap out cards, keep the cards, however you like. But no, a really powerful deck. So powerful. Currently in meta at the moment. Let's go for it. Let's check out this deck. Disclaimer, this deck isn't for me. It involves way too much thinking at the moment for my liking, but in the right hands this deck is so powerful. This deck can probably counter every meta out there except maybe burn aggro. So burn aggro will probably just be too quick for you because this is a really late game deck. Burn aggro will probably kill you in like turn 5 or 6 or maybe even 4. So that deck is a proper counter to this one, but other than that this deck can probably outsmart and outplay every single deck out there. But you need to know your meta. You need to know your meta so that you know how to mold your hand into the correct combo by the time you get to the late game, so that you can actually counter their deck and then summon out your big winners and win the game. And I am not good at that at the moment, so that's why I'm not very good at this deck. But that doesn't mean this deck is not good. It means that it's just that I'm not good at it. But yeah, this deck is simply amazing, trust me. Okay, so let's go for it. So the main winners, the main win conditions for this deck is going to be your two champions, Ezreal and Karma. And Karma's down here. So Ezreal's a free cost unit, free cost champion. And what Ezreal does is an elusive card, so it can just attack without people blocking her or him. Probably a him. I think it's a him. Ezreal's a guy's name, right? I don't know. Let's call it him. All right. He's going to attack and he's going to get his one attack in most of the time, unless they have elusives themselves. But every time he manages to strike the Nexus, he creates a mystic shot in your hand. But it's a fleeting mystic shot, which means that the mystic shot will disappear if you don't use it after that round. But it means that you can keep hitting hard on the enemy Nexus, on the enemy units, using spells, because you need to use a lot of spells in this deck. And so it's a really good combo, I think, to have Ezreal here. So that's what Ezreal does. If Ezreal manages to see, even if it's in your deck and you don't have it in your hand or on play, if you use 8 spells that targets enemies, then Ezreal levels up. So really powerful. And so when Ezreal levels up, it gets even more powerful, because every time you use a spell, it's going to deal 2 to the enemy Nexus. So you're going to see why this is really powerful soon. So with Karma, and this is why it's paired with Karma. The Karma is a 5-cost card. At the end of the round, you get a random spell if Karma is still on the board. To level it up, you need to be Enlightened, and Enlightened just means that you need to have 10 max mana or more. So therefore, this is a very late game strategy. So when Karma gets leveled up, the skill changes. So the skill changes to when you play a spell, you get to cast it again on the same target. For the same cost. So if you cast, say, a Mystic Shot, which is cost 2 mana, so for 2 mana you get to cast 2 Mystic Shots on the same enemy. And so you can see why this is really powerful, because every time you cast a spell, Karma is going to double it. So you're going to have 2 spells, and you're going to get both the effects. But in addition to that, Ezreal, a leveled up one, is going to do 2 damage to the Nexus every single time a spell is placed. So because you play 2 spells, therefore you're going to do 4 to the Nexus. So you can see this like ramping up quite a lot as soon as you play like low cost spells, and even other normal spells. This is going to be a very powerful combo. So that's the main aim of the deck, to try and get that combo when you get to late game. What you do during the early games and mid games. So what you're trying to do there is trying to build your hand to the right counter, depending on the opponent's deck, and also trying to control the board a bit. Do some board removal, keep the board so that the enemy doesn't have an advantage over you. Again, that's actually really hard to do, but if you play it right, this deck is so good. And as you know, that was the strategy of the deck. So let's just go through some of the cards so that we know why the cards are in there. So we got Thermogenic Beam, amazing card. Use all your mana to deal that onto a unit. And this is a really good card because of the kind of like late game. Because you want to get to late game, obviously the opponents are going to summon out some late game followers or units themselves. So having a Thermogenic Beam in your hand is going to be able to remove these from play. So for instance, they might have a Tryndamere at the end. And this deck doesn't really have any counters to Tryndamere really. in the form of like followers, because the Tryndamere is just like 9. It's a 9/9, isn't it, when it levels up? So Thermogenic Beam, a very good card just to get rid of, say, Tryndamere, or really high cost unit. Rummage, we've only got one. I'm actually debating whether we should have more rummages in this deck. This deck only, as it is, only has one, because it's a good card for only one cost, and it's a spell, so therefore you can actually, it may be having a rummage and you had a leveled up Karma, so that you can do 2 rummages and you can get more cards and draw more cards. So it's probably quite good, but at the moment default it's only got one. So what rummage does is you discard 2 cards from your hand and you get to draw 2. Or if you only got 1 card, you discard 1 and draw 1. That's all it is. But the good thing about this is it's a 1-cost spell card. So it's really important to have these low-cost spells, and you'll see in a minute why when we come on to Eye of the Dragon. So let's cover Claws of the Dragon first. So with Claws of the Dragon, and in fact, to be honest, that tip actually works on Claws of the Dragon as well. Claws of the Dragon is a 2-cost unit, but if you used 2 spells this round, Claws of the Dragon will just summon out straight away by itself. So the advantage of having low cost spell cards is that you can actually activate this effect and essentially get a free unit on the board, which is great. Another one is Eye of the Dragon. I underestimated this card at the beginning, but actually this card is so insanely good. So what Eye of the Dragon does is, first of all, it's got the attune tag. So every time you summon this out, it's going to refill your one spell mana into your spell bank, which is good in itself because this is only a 2-cost unit card. But what makes it even better is if the last round you manage to cast 2 spells, so just say maybe 2 rummages or a Mystic Shot and a rummage, just really low cost, because that's kind of the strategy to go for here, you get to summon a Dragonling. And so what Dragonling does is, you get to summon that at the beginning of the round. It's got fleeting, or this one, so disappears when the round finishes, but it's got life still. So every time this Dragonling does damage, which is 2, you're going to get life steal for that. So it's going to heal your Nexus for 2 every single time. So because you want to try and control the board, and sometimes you might not be able to block some of the opponents' damages in, by having this life steal, it's going to plus up your Nexus health back up to full health. So this is really good. So I think in one game, if you manage to say get 3 Eye of the Dragons out, you can get 3 Dragonlings every single turn, and then that's equals to 6 health points, Nexus health, back onto your Nexus every single turn. That's really amazing. That's a really good combo. So I really like this deck. This card in this deck. Mystic Stock, everyone knows what this is. It's a fast 2-spell card, and it deals 2 to anything. Anything meaning also the Nexus as well. So really good. Ezreal, again, we've gone over that, but Ezreal creates another Mystic Shot if you manage to hit their Nexus. Amazing. Get Excited is, I guess, a board controlled card, so you can discard 1 to deal 3 to anything. That's a really good card to use. Again, only 3 cost, so quite a low cost card. Shadow Assassin's in there for the elusive and to also summon 1 card when it gets summoned out, or draw 1 card when this gets summoned out. So, yep, get to attack their Nexus and also draw a card. Bonus for 3 mana points. Chump 1, I didn't understand why this was in a deck originally, but now I understand. Every time you summon out Chump 1, so Chump 1's not a bad card for 4 mana, so for free, that's not bad stats for a 4-cost card. But what the good thing about this one is you're going to create 2 Mushroom Clouds. And the Mushroom Clouds are 1-cost spells, so you can see where this is going. They're 1-cost spells, and these Mushroom Clouds are going to add spells into your decks, so that, into their opponent's decks, so that you can actually hit them for the damage. But instead, because it's a 1-cost unit, it's a 1-cost spell, then therefore you can actually use this to use with the combos like Claws of the Dragon and Eye of the Dragon. Amazing card to put in. Concussive Palm is a pretty good card as well. So with Concussive Palm, you can use this as a fast spell, and it's a 4-cost card. So with a 4-cost card, it stuns the enemy when you use it, and in addition to that, it summons out a Tail of the Dragon. So Tail of the Dragon, a 3/2 card, and yeah, it'll get your minion out on the board so that you can actually hold up against other people. So that's good. We're going on to like the last couple of cards. So Deep Meditation. Deep Meditation is really good because with Deep Meditation, if you use this one and you draw it on the round, then it actually doesn't cost 4, it only costs 2. As you can see here, it costs 2 less. So when it costs 2 less, you use it. So for 2 mana cost, you get to draw 2 other spell cards, and that's insane. Oh no, I'm getting that card mixed up. Sorry. With this one, if you cast 2 spells at the end from the last round, then this costs 2 less, basically. Okay, what was the other one that I was thinking of? I think it's Gotcha. I'm getting that mixed up with Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, Gotcha here. Okay, we'll come on to Gotcha later. Deny is a great card here. So Deny is a fast spell, so it stops any other spells from casting. You can deny them. There's only 1 in this deck. I feel that it probably needs another 1, maybe, because it's such a really good card. I do find that whenever I summon out Karma on Ezreal, they'll use a spell to kill them because they know what the combo is. So having the denies is good, but there's only 1 in this game, the default deck. I think it probably needs another 1. But anyway, default only has 1. Gotcha, like I mentioned earlier, is a 4-cost card, but if you manage to draw it on the turn, it costs 2 less, and you get to deal 3 to a unit. So 2 mana to deal 3, good combo. Static Shock, default nice card. 4-cost, deal 1 to the enemy or enemy Nexus, and then 1 to another, and you get a draw card. Great, amazing. Wheel of Ionia, get to recall unit. There's 2 in here, and I think I originally didn't quite like it, but when I actually faced late game, to have Wheel of the Ionia and you get to recall their units is a really, really powerful play. So actually having it in the deck is good. Karma we've gone over, and then the only last one is Yone, Wind Chaser, 7-cost mana card, 6/6, and when you play it you get to stun the 2 enemies. So maybe you need that extra little bit of damage to 6 damage off to kill the enemy Nexus by stunning 2 of their units, which they then can't block with. It's a really good play. Or maybe you need to summon out this on your turn to block, stun 2 of their enemies, but then they don't kill your Nexus, say. So yeah, a really, really good card. So that's basically the deck. So this is a really, really good deck. Like I said, it's probably not the correct deck for myself, but actually it's a really, really powerful deck. So give this deck a go, try it out, use the import code that I've got in the description, let me know what you guys think of this deck. It's a really hard deck to play because you need to know the meta, you need to know how to mold your hand into the right combo for late game. But if you do know that and you can manage it, master it, you're going to be able to master this deck. This deck is going to outperform a lot of decks that you've seen so far. The only real counter for this is burn aggro, which is annoying, but yeah, it's there. But check out this deck. It feels so satisfying when you get the Ezreal leveled up and you get the Karma Enlightened at the end, and then you get to summon out all these different spells. And even Karma giving you the random spells feels like it's quite a good randomized aspect of the game, which is fun. Some games you might just get some insane combo out, and I'm trying to get a good video, hopefully, of that one day. So when I do, I'll upload it for you guys to have a look. But until then, give this deck a go, try it out. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And until next time, all right, check you guys later. Peace.